Shame!
You'll hear conservative commentators make this point that the education system is being intentionally dumbed down to bring America down. And there's some truth in that, but I really think I really do think it more or less just started as a product of standards needing to be lowered so that everyone could be included. And it just continued to snowball from there. You know, back in 100 years ago, right? In order to be considered an educated person, by the time you were 16 years old, you were fluent in Greek and Latin and, you know, knew the entire Western lexicon. That was before you went on to your undergrad. It was before
That's right.
you went on to your undergrad to pursue a specific field of study. Nowadays, if a 16-year-old can speak Greek and Latin fluently and knew the entire Western lexicon, I mean, by the time they got halfway to that point, we would have promoted them through the university system to a PhD.
No, I think it's shocking how I believe this is a really weird absurdity, but we are told we are smarter and smarter and smarter progressively, but we're actually way less formed and way less developed almost than any other generation.
Absolutely.
Even in the Middle Ages, you had peasants who never went to school, but because of the liturgical life and culture and festivity, were so much more cultured than anything we can claim today. It's impossible to concede for most people because most people find themselves educated when in fact we're not.
Not even close. I mean, we have so much access to so much media and it's all dreck. The average peasant who was only hearing Gregorian chant was far more cultured than today's listener to the radio airwaves. Right? They were far more cultured. I mean, the garbage pop music that just saturates the culture, the trash television, even most like 99% of what's on the internet. Part of why the internet is just great is because of the lack of gatekeeping. So authentically good stuff does make it online, like Freedom Tunes, of course. But everyone wants to scoff at medieval man and the Dark Ages. Look at the cathedrals they made and look at the churches we build. Like, we have to make things ugly. It is like we're restless in our effort to destroy beauty. Everything has to be hideous.
Cult of the ugly. It's on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's pornographic. It's the inversion of the order of reality.
Thank you for saying that. That is the perfect way and it makes so much more sense. As soon as you said that, I just clicked that. Thank you. That is it. That is such a good point. That is such a good point. It's pornographic.
Yes. And pornographic in the Greek means to write your own law. And it's
interesting. I thought porneo meant like impurity or.
It did. Right.
Okay.
But writing down the impurity as the law rather than virtue and purity is to invert the order.
Wow.
But graphia is to write.
Wow.
Yeah. And to write the law of impurity on your own heart is pornographic.
Well, but it's such a good way of putting it because what does pornography do, right? It reduces the human person to an object.
That's right.
And what does brutalism do in architecture? It reduces what we are surrounded by to the most utilitarian form of itself rather than acknowledging the beauty that could be there. I think that's a great way to put it. It's pornographic. You're losing something. You're losing so much.
You're losing it all. You're inverting the order of goods. You're inverting the order of loves. And you're loving what is ugly, evil, and false.
And it's no mystery that the sexually corrupt are at the forefront of all of that.
That's right.
You look at, I remember in the 20th century art history class I had to take, in the modern art history class I also had to take while I was getting my degree at SCAD. It was like the entire time they were just telling on themselves. You know, we were going through all of these artists who set the new status quo, so to speak, and created these wonderful avant-garde pieces, which were all garbage, I'm saying this as an internet cartoonist, all right? Like, I understand that's a big statement coming from me, but it's trash. And a lot of these guys were technically skilled. That's the difference. You see modern art today and it's garbage, and it's because they only know how to make garbage. These guys knew what they were doing. You look at Picasso's early work, unbelievably skilled, but he decided to produce ugliness. Why? Probably because he was producing ugliness in his own life.